Hello guys, XAT business decision making. This is a nightmare. Right? It's not a great section. It's not a jolly section. It's something where you need to be a little bit careful. It's not tons of material. It's not available. You need to get our heads wound around what this is about. Even before we go about how to solving it, it's very important that you go through the previous year XAT papers. You need to get a sense of what the XAT guys are thinking about when they're creating this section. Very crucial. So go through the actual papers. There's a playlist that gives practically the entire XAT BDM for the last 2-3 years on our own channel. So go through that, where we have done all the XAT questions with reasonably detailed video solutions, keeping in mind the answer choices that they have suggested. So it's very important that you go through that. When it comes to this section, it is kind of subjective. It's dicey. So you need to have a set of rules that you keep in mind, a framework that you keep in mind. More than that, question selection is very crucial. So you need to find out what kind of sets that you get right. So spend some time thinking about that. Is this the ethical dilemma, moral dilemma kind of question? Is this the kind of question where some numbers and hard data are thrown in? This is the kind of question where some geopolitics is thrown in. This is the kind of question where it's a case study where the organizational culture or equivalent of human resource interaction, those come in. You need to figure out which ones you are good at and gravitate towards that. And get sufficient practice. Pause and take time to think and rewire onto what they are thinking about. Very crucial. This is not a pressure that has to be done under time pressure. That has to be practiced with the timer on. So do it very slowly, very methodically. Wind your head around what this is about. That's very crucial. And we're going to provide a broad framework on some do's and don'ts. What you should do. Right? Sorry, I'm still winding my head around this. Right? The easiest thing. And so go for the choices that are by the book. Don't go for any choice that is borderline illegal or even borderline unethical. If it says that we need to handle this the way things are typically handled in government agencies, no, that's hinting at something. We don't do that, and you can't recommend a suggestion that is even borderline illegal or unethical. You can't. For you, it might be the pragmatic. You might say, "Oh, this is our life. This is what happens in India, etc., etc., etc." From the exam point of view, you're not going to recommend anything that's even borderline illegal or unethical. It's a very powerful tool because it automatically eliminates a bunch of choices. And something slightly shady, we can't suggest it. You can't recommend something that involves greasing of palms or massaging of wallets. None of that. Keep that in mind. And in terms of options, have a heavy bias towards consultative option, where it says bring in all stakeholders, talk to management and employees, talk to both sides of the party, talk to customers and vendors. Any of those, bringing people to the table to discuss, collaborate, any of that, give a clear bias towards that choice. What should you avoid? You should avoid the extreme option, which is the vendor is not delivering, cancel him. Cancel all orders from outstanding orders from a vendor, even if it means incurring losses. Pull the product, sue the place. Any of those extreme options, stay away from. Exact opposite of consultative collaborative. Right? The other type of option you should stay away from is the passive option, the do nothing option. And so the questions where there are a bunch of kids playing, a couple of them get into a tiff, you're an external observer looking at it. The choices go, talk to the kids, engage them, divert them from what this is, engage them in some other conversation, and then let them continue playing. Take them to their parents, communicate what was happening clearly to the parents. And choice 4, don't do anything, kids sort themselves out. In these contexts, the don't do anything, kids sort themselves out is not the right answer. And so you cannot go for the passive, do nothing, this will sort itself out option. Even if your natural inclination is towards that, writing an exam, don't go for the do nothing option. That doesn't work. Look for language cues. This is very important. And it's one of the nice questions which was said, what is the best option for this, which is there in the XAT 2020 BDM, which said, this is the Vanarajya thing, where it says, you have to keep in mind nutrients, water, and forest cover, all 3 aspects. So the question is clearly saying, look at these 3 aspects when evaluating choices. So you practically have to look at choices and say, which one tick all 3 boxes? If nothing ticks all 3 boxes, which ones tick 2 boxes? So the language cues are very powerful, very useful. Look for that. Read the question once, twice over. Sometimes they define the criterion very well. If they tell you what you should be looking for. So in which case, read the question once, twice, thrice. And the distinction is very, very crucial. Sometimes in some case where something unethical is involved, some investigation is being done, the language will make it very clear whether there is a discrepancy that's being studied and looked into, or there is an error that has been caught. If there's an error that has been caught, then you're saying, look, I have to handle this. If there's a discrepancy that's being looked into, then you're investigating it. So the language is very crucial. So read once, twice, thrice to pick that once. Don't gloss over detail. And so don't rush, don't read too fast. The one detail that I missed when I was trying the question, so one set of questions which said, which of the following the best, most important and the best criterion for Ram or Ramesh to keep in mind while evaluating this decision? I arrange them in descending order of importance. And that was one type of question. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Your answer choice was 3, 4, 2 or 4, 3, 1. And there's one other question which said, which of the following criteria is best suited for Ram to support this decision? Arrange them in descending order. The first one is validating. So it's an important criteria that might or might not be going your way for the decision, but it's a crucial criteria that will go in. Second one is the best one for supporting your decision, in which case you're looking for a choice that says, oh, what you did is right. So in the first case, it is crucial for evaluating what you did is right. The second instance, it is crucial for supporting what you did is right. From validating to supporting is a huge difference. So don't gloss over detail in the question or the passage. The passages are going to be frightfully short. The context is short. The question is not too long. So don't rush through the reading part. Read twice, thrice, grab all details, then move further on. You're looking for choices. Look for sustainable long-term ones. So suppose you're saying I have to set up a factory in 3 different states. And one said there's a network that's available here. It is very close to your customer base. The logistics become simpler. The long-term sustainability is clear. Environmental damage is minimal. Go for those. If the other one says the state is offering a special economic zone, it's offering a 3-year tax holiday, a 5-year window for inexpensive loans, then don't go for those. Anything whether it's 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, whereas the hit which hits you one time and says, okay, you're going to get a 2-year boost or a 3-year boost, whereas something sustainable longer term, your bias should be towards a sustainable longer term one and not the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year fix. Right? So it's a broad overview of kind of criteria that you need to keep in mind as a framework. The case by case variance is huge. This is a tough section. So don't rush, don't read too quickly, have your wits with you. Get comfortable in knowing which ones you shouldn't touch, should leave. Have a bias towards kind of things that you're kind of good at. Back yourself, attempt, and kind of accept the fact that there's going to be some error rate. That's all right. Now 21, 22 questions in this section. If you attempt 12 to 15 and get 8, 9 right, it's actually a very decent score. Don't have a huge pressure on attempting. Don't have pressure on reading quickly. It's not important. Gravitate towards the kind of sets that you get and hope for the best. And so this is not an easy section to prepare for, subjective. Have a set of rule framework so that your hit rate goes from say 40% to 75%. If it goes to 75%, you're on ice.